I'm Samantha Chips.
And I'm Sheppy. Here's the issue.
Tell me say money motivate me, talk is cheap, so me not talk if the conversation no pay me. Leo Rando we currently counting currency, stacking up the Benjamin Franklins, we run the ground with it.
We know they're all dead, we just don't know how they died. Let's go.
Why are you doing that?
I'm doing anything good.
Oh, because I'm concerned for you, man. So here's the story.
Yes.
A boat was found off the shore of Tobago, and there were 15 dead bodies inside. According to the news at the time, they suspect that it's some Venezuelans.
Doubt it.
Why do you doubt it?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
They were decomposed a fair amount. Why would they die from so close? They're so close to Tobago. Why would I kill them in that short space of time for reach to the border of Tobago?
Let's feed the hypotheticals then.
Okay.
Let's say...
We have nothing but hypotheticals to work with. We know 15 dead bodies found in a boat off the shore.
They're not Tobagans.
We know they're not Tobagans. We also... What else do we know?
Or
where they were going, or where they're from.
Now we also know people from Venezuela have been trying to escape that country and running away and going to anywhere that would have them. And Trinidad is one of the main spots.
Do specify these things that are reasons to want to run away from Venezuela.
One reason is the threat to life. It's not safe to live there for them right now. Next one is economics, in the sense that their money isn't worth anything for the most part.
So it's basically the same reasons that Haitians would have to want to run away to Florida or anywhere neighboring. Because Haitians is the people I hear about running away on boats a lot. So this is the only time I've heard in the Caribbean that there's a boat being found, but they're not Haitians. They're likely Venezuelans.
Yeah, but understand that Haiti is very far from Trinidad.
Yes, we're not talking about that story and the vicinity. We're talking about, in general, the stories you hear about boats and being found on boats is usually Haitians. Coming to Jamaica or going to Florida or anywhere neighboring Cuba, right? They try to go to these places, right? Why is this taking place down there? So no, we've never heard anything like that. Is it usual that people try to run up on boat, go to other countries?
When you say
Don't
usual,
does it happen often?
it's been happening often since the whole economic crash that Venezuela has been going through.
Okay.
They have had the biggest migration of people in recent history. Some weird statistic like that. I'll post it up.
Okay. So now people are doing this because of economic reasons and environmental reasons and factors. But even so, based on where they're geographically placed, do you think it possible that they could have died and decomposed in that short period of time? How long do you think it takes to get from Venezuela to Tobago?
Or how long it takes, depending on where you go from. The shortest distance takes less than a day.
On boat, right? Less than
If you take the shortest possible point. Though.
Right. Straight from Venezuela to Tobago.
Okay, look.
We're not taking a detour.
No, but like for context though, the way Venezuela is, because the place big no hill,
Yeah.
it's not like everybody live.
That's fine.
So they have this whole journey they're doing traveling up. I remember there's the whole, I don't want to say food shortages, but the money can't afford to buy food. You know, there's food there.
Yeah.
Right? So crime's on the rise, so you have to do everything you can to escape that, make it there, not get killed on your way out. Don't get trafficked, then make your way in.
Yes.
You think if you see traffickers going over there, you have to start going around because you can't like go to them.
Right.
If you see the Coast Guard there, you have to go around. So all these other factors here.
So you think they may have starved?
I don't think that part matters because they're dead, but...
No, what do you mean? It matters how they died. Was it a suicide pact? Did they all just say, fuck it, dog, let's just...
Because they decide Guyana? Is that what you just did?
Maybe.
You're awful.
But it would be logical.
You're awful. No!
Given that what we know.
White people did
what
that.
We found.
These are black people. From what I understand, sound like they were dead for a while still. And it sound like they died at different points.
So you're in there with the dead people, them you don't show them off?
What are you going to do? Come off the boat?
Show them off, them dead. You're like the last person alive. You're gonna sit down amongst decomposing. You start eat them probably. What the fuck if them start eat them? What if what we think is decomposition is people just eating each other, dog?
Why are you like this?
I don't know. My brain just is doing this. My condolences to all the families affected when you do find out if these are your relatives.
They wanted to eat each other.
Maybe when the first person died. I don't know, bro.
No, but what I want to get at
Yes,
is
yes.
like what happens in Venezuela right now over the last 20 years that's causing all of that.
Okay, let's go inside the structures that are failing the people. Because I must something like that you'll get into. The government.
No.
Okay, let's get into the details. What is it?
Honestly, I want to be as fair as possible, right? What Venezuela has, they have a lot of oil. And when you have a lot of oil, you build your economy around oil because money that.
Okay. I don't see why they're not like
They-
booming. Do tell.
The price of oil fell massively.
Recently.
It's been falling.
Yeah, but not massively.
Since the 80s compared to now, yes, massively.
And yet Trinidad would still be okay with just selling oil.
Because they're not one of the massive oil producers on the planet.
And why is that, you think?
Because Venezuela's right there.
So, look how world bomber clap big. Do you think if, let's say the entire Caribbean produced oil, what are we gonna reach?
That's correct.
What? You think so?
Yeah, because there'll be a lot of it on the market, and then the value of it will go down.
No, that's not the logic I'm using. Okay. Look at America fighting war for people, blood clots, oil, right? Mm-hmm. No. Mm-hmm. If they could get it from 4 or 5 Caribbean countries at a rate, we all decide on a rate. Mm-hmm. Nobody no lower than nobody. There's no competition. You get it we're at the same price.
Yeah, I see what you're doing now. We all have to decide on a rate.
Yeah, so what? CARICOM, fuck. Let's work with that. Let's decide on this thing and
It's not for the sake of argument, because there is a group that Venezuela is a part of, and they all decided on the rate, and then they all cheated each other.
Oh, fuck. Oh,
that's
that
what happened. Yeah,
okay.
That happened.
Well, fuck. Them get fucked then.
Yes, they did.
Them get fucked.
Yes, they did.
There's no helping that. Come what I do.
And then do what? The other people still have oil.
Shit.
Another thing from what I understand is Venezuela does not sell oil to the US.
Why? Is there a reason? Is it like
the US has had history of trying to uproot people in Venezuela in power.
They do that with everybody.
Yeah. So they sell to Russia instead. Russia, China, India. So Venezuela's currency and economy is heavily tied to their oil industry. 90% of all the money they make from exporting comes from oil. Now with all that money, they used it to pay for the social programs, that's like the agriculture, the healthcare and education. Now they weren't producing at the scale to cater for the whole country, so they would import everything else they needed. So if they were getting food for everybody, they'd like import the base ingredients before they started producing and manufacturing goods with that. And that was fine at the time because they were getting the money to pay for it from all the oil. Now if you just keep this process going long enough, eventually like all the other industries will get strong enough theoretically to sustain themselves. Now the problem comes in when the price of oil fell. As the price of oil fell and the demand for it went down, it started a cycle. Less of the oil was getting bought, and the price for it was going down on top of that. So as the price for oil fell, they started bringing in less money, and the value of the dollar started going down. So in light of that and all the bills the government had to pay, they started printing more money. That's not a bad short-term plan. Do whatever you can to keep things going until you can recover. What made things worse though is the price of oil didn't stop falling. And then the bills the country had to pay didn't go away. So they printed even more money again. As the value of the dollar started going down, the dollar figure you would see in the stores for goods started going up. Then that cycle continued. Then it got really bad. That's the hyperinflation. So now when the people see the dollar, that's the Venezuelan dollar, the Bolivar, doing so bad, they started changing out everything they had at that point in time for US currency. Now when everybody do that on a wide scale, the value of the dollar going to go down even further. So the government block off all of that through the legal channels. That's when the black market come in now. So now once they got a hold of that, then the free fall got even worse because the black market gave them good trade, good value for the money. So then now the free fall will get even worse again, and it got to a point now where it's better you use the same money, like a stack of the money as toilet paper, than actually buy toilet paper with it. It's bad.
So now I've never been to this country, but I have an idea of the socio-economic structure.
There's a whole lot.
Right? Right. So an idea is what I have. I don't have the full understanding. But with that being said, I understand that people would try to get away.
Yeah,
I get it.
You're trying to get away because one, your money's worth nothing there.
Right.
No matter everything, all the skills you have mean nothing because the money you're making means
Oh
nothing.
my goodness. And so you're trying to get away. So
the government can't really lower it because of the trade restrictions against the international market.
Yeah. So trying to get away now includes a boat with 15 people.
Some people migrate to Colombia. The richer people apparently left earlier on when they realized, okay, shit, this is about to go down.
Right. So so we understand the possible plight of these 15 men. We don't know if I did that, but that could be it.
We know the Venezuela is definitely suffering.
We know that. It's likely it, but we're still not sure. It still could be a suicide pact. I'm still betting on that.
You bet on
betting on the suicide pact.
You bet on your suicide
15 dead men.
So now what I'm getting
Nobody was eaten.
So what I want to make sure it says that they made this thing like it's like food shortages in the sense like, oh, these people can't get anything to eat or anything like that. What I'm understanding, it's not exactly that. It's like specific products, you can't find, but the country's so rich
Right.
in terms of like resources.
Yes.
Like you can grow your own food.
It's impossible not to survive on your own.
You won't starve to death.
Right.
But you can't buy any other known foods they have there. Now the way their population set up
Yeah.
to sustain for the whole population, kind of ridiculous.
Okay, do explain.
That's the first part. Now, you think you're using the Jamaican context in the sense that they have the history of agriculture to sustain itself.
Yes.
They do not. There's this thing called Dutch disease. I'm going to post it up.
Dear God, Dutch disease. Let's all learn together here. Dutch disease.
Yeah. What happens in countries is when you have a lot of one resource, you tend to lower the others and build around it just naturally.
Okay.
It happens.
Yeah.
So the agriculture is not to the level to match their skill because they had oil and could just buy the shit.
Oh, shit.
So now when oil fell,
They got comfortable.
yes. So when the oil fell, all the others aren't like high grade enough.
Yes, to sustain
The
entire
whole
country. Jesus.
Which also adds to the inflation, which also makes everything cost more.
Okay, so now
And the
you're...
money worth less, while the money is getting worth less and less every day.
So what you're doing now is sinking my suicide pact theory down into the ground, and it makes less sense now, so fine.
So in economics, the Dutch disease is the apparent causal relationship between the increase in the economic development of a specific sector and a decline in other sectors. That is the next thing that reached Venezuela. So people will tell you things like, it's because of the socialism and all of that. And yeah, those play a factor. You could try and make the argument that because the place was socialist, private investors couldn't come in and like restabilize the place. You could make that argument. It's a fair argument. Fair argument.
It's very fair.
But then I'll just tell you like, yo, every person I know that's into like capitalism will do everything that makes them more money, not stabilize the place.
Duh.
I don't know no noble businessman like that.
No.
On that scale.
No, that one. So, fine. So we have that theory locked and loaded, and it seems the most plausible one of the two that we presented.
And we say theory because you can't know what happened.
And you can't know.
What I want to do is I want to highlight the fact that, Venezuelans are having a mass migration right now. They're going to spill over into other Caribbean islands. These people are suffering. They're leaving dire situations. They're coming here. These people aren't stupid. They aren't like handicapped. They're capable. It's just that
They just want a better life.
they want a life. They want a life.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
There's other relationships because, like, for example, in Trinidad, too much big influx of too many people. That starts affecting the job market and all of that.
Even with saying that, understanding where they're geographically placed, I still don't know how they all died in such a short time. Right? All of them, it just, I don't know. 15 people, one boat, traveling to a place that is literally next to you. That you just said to me, you could possibly get there in a day if you traveled from the closest point.
That's the distance from, like,
right?
what, UAE to Harvard, I think? Or UAE to Portmore?
Right? That's not far. That's like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
By car, right? So,
by car.
right? So, okay, you're in a boat with 14 other people, right? You right now, you're in a boat with 14 other people, and you're trying to get away from dire circumstances.
Oh, you see, but we can't know if
you don't bring enough food.
We don't know if these were 15 healthy people.
Okay, so we're assuming they're all sickly?
They could have been. They could have all been shot. They could have been stabbed. They could have gotten away from something.
Okay, yeah, all right, you're right. Because the news didn't tell us
they couldn't know
anything. They just said they found 15 bodies with signs of decomposition.
And they said they suspect it might be Venezuelans. It could be from somewhere else.
Right? So that leads me to think it's just not Venezuelans. To me, I don't know. There are reasons why it could be that you just stated, but because they all died and they're so close in terms of proximity, it just doesn't add up to me how they all could have not one survived that journey. Nobody, and they're all decomposing, dead for a while now. I don't know. I feel like they're coming from farther, and they might have been drifted towards fucking Tobago, and the likelihood of that is high.
When we say that short distance, about a 45-minute drive distance, right? That's from the two closest points in it.
Yes, I did say.
It's not the only points on the island. It's a whole coastline. They could have started from any point.
And how long does it take a person to die from dehydration?
Like 3 days.
3 days, right? And how long from hunger?
Weeks. But you need to get the water, though.
Yes, understood. All 15 of these people, right, are traveling together, and none of them, not one of them, you just said they're able-bodied people.
Yes, they're not stupid, yes.
Not carry enough water. It's not even enough food, because we can't afford the food. Water free.
Yes,
Water come from pipe.
Water free here as well.
Full up some water.
You don't know the status over there as well.
Man, pipe. River water. Anything, but you can drink without salt, sodium in it. The fuck?
That they start the journey from the coastline.
Even so, they're coming from the furthest point. How long do you feel like
the furthest point from like inland, making your way to the end there? Because you're not going to try Trinidad first if you're doing that. You try Colombia, realize you can't get through, then you have to go all the way to the other end, try Guyana, then go northward.
Then go in a circle and just end
I'm just saying a whole heap of things can happen in that journey.
Again, yeah, we're just here theorizing. So
Yeah, we are.
Fine.
We're not just theorizing. We're talking about the fact that, it's bad in Venezuela. There's going to be an influx. It's going to get worse.
Yeah, we know that, but we left from that, understanding that, to where them could have possibly come from otherwise from Venezuela and just die. Right. Because, again, I'm not fully sold on the fact that they come from Venezuela.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm not sold.
That's fine.
Right.
So where could they have come from?
Again, I don't know the socioeconomic statuses of these countries. I'm a part of the Caribbean, but I don't know everything about every Caribbean country, and I'm not well researched.
I don't know how, honestly, to go into the whole thing with the history with Maduro, because this is not a history podcast.
It's not. We're just talking about that issue.
There's a guy named Maduro, when he brought the whole country into socialism, that's early to 1999. In fact, I don't actually know if he's the one who brought the country to socialism, but he's the face.
Okay.
He had his whole relations with Cuba. If you want to know where Cuba get the oil to sustain himself from Venezuela.
Okay.
Look at things like that. Like, even if you check the history of Venezuela's oil, we in the Caribbean are interconnected with that. Remember Petrojam? Venezuela.
You're lying.
That's where we get the oil from, Venezuela.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Cuba gets the oil there, they get the oil there. Trinidad kind of self-sufficient, but...
Yeah. I mean,
they don't have trade relations with the US, so they don't owe the US nothing.
Yeah. Well,
they kicked out all the US companies.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
To their own detriment, but rightfully so at the same time.
I don't know FBI watching.
Rust.
I don't want it.
Oh shit. Well, best of luck to all the Venezuelans. I don't know what else we can't. We're not the government. We can't change anything. We're a podcast. We can only talk about the issue.
What would have the government do?
And I don't think there's anything they can do. I feel like if I was in their shoes, I'd just be feeling worthless right now.
People seeking asylum, yes. Your local people hungry too. Yeah. You have an obligation to those people.
It's fucking sucks.
It's but how do you as a human tell these people you'll go back and die? How do you tell them that?
You can't. Well, you could, but you shouldn't. Oh dear.
And just picture us as a region of what Venezuela done for us over the years. Yeah, it's a business relationship, but we did thrive through it.
Yeah.
Won't take in nobody.
Well, there's no fix to the issue that we can suggest.
So it's gonna be really funny. I don't think the Caribbean has enough unity to pull it off. We don't. To pull it off. But St. Vincent did prove though that it's possible.
What with the
how we all banded together
with the volcano?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the capacity to.
Now here's the next thing though. We as an international body, do we support the Venezuelan government? Because apparently the people who are supporting the Venezuelan government are the ones who are running away. Right? Or do we support the people who are running from the Venezuelan government's nation to help you? When international relations get involved, it gets messy. What do you do as a foreign entity? What do you do when it's your opposition that's running away?
I mean, is it our business as the neighbors who they're running to care about any of these specifics?
Yes.
Why?
Because we have trade relations with them, yes.
No, but people are saying they're running away from a life that they find to be inadequate or unhappy or whatever. And they want to come here. And we should send them back?
But you're going to keep them there?
Why not?
Why would you?
Why would we not?
How can you afford it?
Yeah. I feel like if Venezuelans or anybody should come here, there's no turning these people away, or there shouldn't be any turning these people away, in my opinion. Right? These are skillful people coming here who can't survive in their place with their skills, get paid for their skills and all of that. Welcome. Come, let us help you.
I understand you from the humanitarian aspect.
Yes.
I'm no economist. I'm no economist.
No, we're not saying we are.
I can see
I'm not saying you are.
I can see what I feel like we should do. It's like this story pulls your heartstrings. You don't know where to take it because, like, this is not a history podcast. If I tell you the news, yes, boat turned up with 15 dead people.
Yeah.
They think it's from Venezuela. Why do they think it's from Venezuela? Because there's a big migration happening from there. Why is that migration happening? Economic conditions are really bad. You will hear certain things, but like when you listen to a place that doesn't do trade with them, so for example, the Americans, if you take news from them about what's happening there, you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
It's like, did that really happen?
Right.
You always hear the things like socialism is the problem, and I'm like, wait a minute. I don't necessarily agree with socialism just like that because I don't understand it enough.
Right.
But I don't understand from that argument how democracy or communism or anything else would have been better.
Right.
Okay, this was the problem, but I'm like, how was the other one the solution?
So it pulls at your heartstrings because this country is plummeting into...
Right, but it's like as you tell each part of the story, you have to go to a different place now.
Yeah. 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 I know these 15 dead people. I feel like we're glossing over them as just like something that happened because of something else. Our condolences are important to like the people who lost these people.
I don't even think the people who lost these people would know. How would you know that these are the people?
That's again.
How would you know?
Can't identify them.
I don't think you understand that like a lot of the Venezuelan numbers and demographics would just disappear if you get up and leave tomorrow.
But that's even sadder.
For the States and never talk to your mother again. How will your mother know you didn't die on the way? You can never know.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no...
It just makes it sadder, man.
There's no closure on a story like this. There's no closure for the victims. They don't even know if they're the family of the victims.
Yeah, that's the sad part for me. The lack of closure that
Listen.
both the people who found them will have and the people who lost them will have. Because they're not even if them lost them.
Can you imagine the scale that's happening like that in Venezuela right now? For like all the families that couldn't take the whole family?
Okay, alright. Well, we have no suggestions. You have suggestions in terms of how we could fix this particular issue?
I don't understand why you think we're supposed to have suggestions.
I just feel like
to the issue. It's called Here's the Issue.
No. We can supply the people with the issue through the podcast, but do we have no opinion on how it should change? Well, that's the issue. But you know what though? Guys, comment down below your opinion on this issue. Let us know if you even think it's an issue. Let us know your views. Alright.
Here's the Issue is an opinionated program based on the information we had readily available to us at the time of the recording, and not necessarily the views of any sponsors. We acknowledge that by its very nature, the information we release may be susceptible to updates and redactions, and we will readily perform them as needed.